welcome to today's practice. We're going to start today in a child's pose. And as you make your way to your child's pose, I'd just like to remind you that this is your practice, your time on your mat. So I want you to, particularly in this first moment, make sure that your body is comfortable. Use props, modify positions, take out positions, add positions. Do what you need to do in your body today to make this practice nurturing for you. And that goes throughout the rest of the practice as well. As we move through, keep checking in with your body and doing the things that feel good for you. So hopefully you're now in your child's pose. Feel free to widen the knees if that feels better. Place blankets or an extra mat underneath the knees if you're sensitive here. Whatever it might be, listen to your instincts and feel free to follow those as I guide you through today's practice. So maybe you're extending your fingertips slightly more active in the arms, or maybe you're nice and relaxed, nice and soft. Whatever it is, finding somewhere where you can be comfortable and rest. So the belly is resting down towards the floor or the thighs. And the forehead rests down towards the mat too. Maybe you place a prop underneath the head, or you can make a cushion for the head if you prefer. So really using this first moment to get in touch with your body, start to listen in to what your body's asking for, and moving in the direction of that. So as we move through today's practice, we want to keep it nice and gentle, nice and soft, not forcing or pushing the body, but opening up what I like to call a conversation with the body. Asking the body where it is today, what it might need from us today. And we start to get in tune with the body by connecting with our breath. Beginning to breathe in through the nose if you can, filling the lungs. And breathing out through the mouth. And with each breath, just allowing yourself to find a little bit more stillness, a little bit more peace. Allowing anything that doesn't serve you in this moment to pass you by, to land on your mat, into your practice, into your body today. Importantly, we allow ourselves to show up for our body today. Today's body is the version most worthy, not the version we wish or hope it could be, but the body we live within today. This amazing, wonderful body. This thing that allows us to experience life. So gifting yourself a couple more deep breaths. Perhaps feeling a nice gentle stretch through the back, maybe into the hips slightly. And then when you're ready, take your time as you ease out of your child's pose, drawing the body forwards. Finding your tabletop here, and we'll transition back into our downward facing dog. So tucking the toes, keeping a generous bend in the knees as you lift the hips up and back. Reaching, extending the tailbone back and high. Imagining that the spine doesn't end at the tailbone, but the energy of the spine extends well beyond the body, helping us to find a little bit more length, elongation through the spine. Maybe gently shaking the head, nodding the head, just releasing any tension in the back of the neck, and checking in with your foundation, spreading the fingers nice and wide. Gentle engagement through the abdominals to support our pose. And as always, feel free to take any movement that feels good for you here. Maybe there's a bit of a pedaling through the feet. maybe a twisting in the hips or the shoulders, or maybe stillness is what you need today. Taking everything that I offer today, just that, an offering, an invitation, choosing to take it or leave it. Remembering this is your time and your practice. Let's take one more breath here. And then bending the knees even more, inhale, look towards your hands and slowly begin to walk your feet forward. So just tiptoe, take as many steps as you need to, drawing the feet in underneath the hips and finding a nice soft forward fold at the top of your mat. So keeping the legs bent if you prefer here, feet can be below the hips. And again, no tension, no holding in the back of the neck. Take a nice breath in and a breath out. Bending into the knees now, catch your inhale as you roll up through the spine. Come all the way up to stand. Let's take 3 rolls of the shoulders when we get there. Roll the shoulders back. 1, inhale. 2, 1 more. 3 from here, bend the knees, bringing the hands to rest on the thighs. We're going to take a standing cat-cow, so as we inhale, send the belly forwards as you lift the tailbone, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, round into the back, hollow into the core, drop your chin towards your chest. 2 more, inhale. Standing cow pose and exhale, rounding into your standing cat. 1 more, inhale. Exhale. This time, as you inhale, press into the feet, stand tall, take 3 more rolls of the shoulders back. Inhale for 2. And 3. From here, bend the knees, reach the arms up towards the ceiling, find lots of length through the body now, and as you exhale, bend the knees, hinge at the hips, fold over the legs, come all the way back into your forward fold. Fingertips melt towards the floor. Inhale now, lift through the chest, finding your flat back, so hands can slide up the legs, the shins. We're coming to about halfway here. Tailbone is extending back, crown of the head is extending forwards, shoulders looping back. Again, you've got that support from the abdominals. Take 1 more breath in. And breathing out to release, coming back into your forward fold. Bend the knees, use your hands to support you as you step your right foot back. Take a nice long stance here, coming into a nice lunge. So front knee stacked on top of that front ankle. Maybe coming to the fingertips, feel free to bring in yoga blocks here or any other props you might have to just bring the floor a little closer to you if you prefer. My foot is in the centre of my body, but you might find it more comfortable a little into the left-hand lane, whatever feels good for you here. Take an inhale as you extend the heart forwards. And as you exhale, lift the hips up and back. Melt your back heel down towards the mat. Now, it probably won't reach, that's okay. And we're working our front leg towards straight. And again, it might not come straight if you're tight in the hamstring. Keep a nice bend in that knee. Just think about lifting those hips high and maintaining as much length in your spine as you can. We're going to repeat that. So inhale, bend back into that front knee, find your lunge. Keep extending that back heel back behind you, nice and long in that extended leg. And then exhale, lift the hips up and back. 1 more, inhale. Exhale, lift the hips. Inhale to bend back into that front knee. Now gently release that back knee to the floor. Remember, you can support that back knee, bring in blankets or any other cushioning you might want to. Untuck the toes, and as you exhale, glide your hips back for a hamstring stretch. Again, we work that front leg towards straight, flex into the foot, draw the toes up towards the face. Maybe you wander your hands back slightly. Inhale, find length. Exhale, soften the body down. So this might be millimeters, that's okay. Inhale, lift. Long through the spine, exhale, soften. Just riding the breath, inhale. Try to keep those hips square, exhale. So really drawing that left hip back and in. Inhale now to lift. Bend back into your front knee, wander your hands forwards, find a twist, reach the left fingertips towards the ceiling. So we're really rotating the body round towards that front thigh. Keep pressing down through the big toe mound of that front foot. Open the chest, big breath in. And a breath out. And then releasing that left hand all the way back into the floor. Tuck the back toes now. Press the heel away to raise that back foot, that back knee. From here, take as many steps as you need to as you draw that right foot back in. Plant it underneath the hip. Take a breath in as you lift the chest and a breath out, folding into that space, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, soft knees, reach the hands high. Strong straight spine brings you all the way up to stand. And exhale, hands come alongside the body, mountain pose. We go with the other side. Inhale. Reaching tall, exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, slide the hands up the legs. And exhale, we fold. Bending into the knees, use the hands to support as you step the left foot back now. Take a nice wide stance. Lift the heart, draw the shoulders back. Create space for the heart to extend forwards. Inhale. Exhale, lift the hips up and back. Work that front leg towards straight. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Don't worry about what the pose looks like. Just feeling into all these different lengthenings into your body. So as we inhale, heart reaches forwards, long through the spine. And as we exhale, the hips reach back. We find even more space through the lower back, space through the hamstrings. And then bending back into that front knee, inhale. Exhale to release the back knee. Glide the hips back as you untuck the toes. Find your hamstring stretch here. Flexing into that front foot, squaring in the hips. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, soften. Inhale. It's a nice wave through the spine. Exhale. As big or as small as you need it to be. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Bending back into that front knee. Let's find our twist. Wander the hands forwards. Really open through the chest. Rotate through the torso. Reach the right fingertips high. Anchoring down through that front foot. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe melting the hips just a little more towards the floor. We release that right hand all the way back into the mat now. From here, instead of taking the back foot forwards, we're going to draw that front foot back to meet the left. So here we are in our half plank. Hands are underneath the shoulders, body is in one straight line. Again, we've got the abdominals supporting us. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, hug the elbows in close as you lower all the way down to the belly. From here, we're going to find a couple of fluid cobras. So again, finding that nice motion through the spine. So we take the hands slightly wider than the shoulders. Tensing the hands now, lift the palms as you press the fingers into the mat and lift the elbows. Forehead starts on the floor, and as we inhale, we press into the hands, begin to peel the chest up and off of the mat. We lift the gaze, come only as high as you feel you want to today. And then exhale, see if you can bring the spine all the way back down, one bone at a time. You want to lengthen the spine as you come down, so thinking about placing the heart just slightly further forwards. Forehead kisses the mat, and we inhale, rise up. Ride the wave of your exhale all the way back down. We've got 1 more. Inhale. Keep your tailbone extending back, long in the spine, heart extends forwards. Exhale to lower. From here, taking the forehead into the mat, we'll find a locust pose. So bringing the hands around behind the back now, interlace the hands. Press the tops of all 10 toes in the mat, into the mat, lift the belly button. Draw the knuckles back towards the heels, and once again, peel the chest up and off of the mat as you draw the shoulders back. Again here, tailbone extends back towards the heels, so you're not crunching into the spine. Spine is long. Keep the gaze nice and low, breathing here. One more breath. And then gently release. Making a cushion for the forehead or the cheek with the hands, and just take a moment here, releasing the legs. And then we'll bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press into the hands, lift back up to the knees. And then send your hips back to your heels, find your child's pose. Just a gentle counter stretch in the spine. And again, make this pose your own. Do what you need to do to make it comfortable for you. And we've got a few rounds of breath here, reconnecting to that place of ease and non-resistance. Tapping back into the breath. And you allow your hips to melt just a little more towards your heels. And then beginning to roll up through the spine. We're going to come to a seated position, so take whatever journey you need to find your seated position, maybe taking the feet around to one side. And we're going to find a seated twist, so extending both legs out in front of you here. We're going to draw the right foot in towards us, plant the sole of the foot on the floor. You might stay here, this might be enough for you. Otherwise, maybe crossing that right foot to the outside of the left thigh. Keeping that left foot nice and engaged, draw the toes up towards the face. We're going to hug that right knee in with the left elbow. Our right hand comes behind us to support, just using this hand to help us grow tall through the lumbar, the lower spine. Take a nice big breath in as you sit tall. And as you breathe out, hug that right knee in towards the chest. Begin to rotate the body, finding your twist, sending your gaze over the back shoulder. One more breath, inhale. Exhale. Inhale to come all the way back through center. If you've got that right foot crossed, uncross it now. And then dropping that right knee out to the side. Now you might like to place a cushion underneath that knee if you're tight in the hip. Really nice option to take. And we're going to find a nice fold here. So if you're tight in the hamstring, maybe you work with a bent knee today. Keeping that foot nice and flexed, bringing the fingertips down towards the floor here. Drop the shoulders, find length through the spine. Big breath in. And as you breathe out, think about folding your belly towards your thigh. We want to send the belly button over towards that thigh slightly, so we stay nice and square. And we just wander the fingertips forwards. Pause to find your inhale, see if you can find more length. And exhale, maybe deepening that folding. Again, this might be millimeters, that's okay. Keeping your gaze low down towards that bottom leg, nice and long in the back of the neck. Keep allowing the outside of that right knee to drop towards the floor. And then let's walk the hands all the way back in. Finding a nice tall spine, and let's release that right leg and we'll come onto the other side. So we draw the left foot in this time, sitting nice and tall. You might keep that foot there, maybe crossing it over. Left hand behind you, and we hug that left knee in. Either we take the hand around to the outside, maybe we hug it in with the elbow. Inhale, sit tall. exhale to twist. Keep that underneath leg nice and engaged. Keep pressing the heel forwards, drawing the toes back. One more breath here, breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale to come all the way back to center, uncrossing that foot if you've got it crossed. And again, dropping that left knee out to the side now. Maybe place a cushion underneath that knee. Feel free to work with a soft knee on that right side. Hands come alongside the leg. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, sending the belly button forwards, finding a bit of a fold, a hinging at the hips. So this fold is really coming from the hips rather than the back or the shoulders. So try to avoid this reach in and instead think about softening the belly forward. So again, it might be that you're folding slightly less than normal, folding from the hips, that's okay. We want to find as much length in the spine as possible here, finding that instead of this arching or rounding. So be gentle with yourself again. It's not about what the pose looks like, but if you're feeling this long lengthening through the back of that right leg, a bit of opening in the left hip, length through your spine, then you're doing absolutely fine. And here we are, breathing. One more breath here. And then drawing yourself all the way back up. Coming into a bound angle now, so drawing that right leg in, draw the soles of the feet together, open the knees out wide. Now the closer you have the heels in towards the pelvis, the stronger the stretch is going to be. So make this your own, do what you need to do, and maybe you still have cushions underneath the outsides of the knees. If that feels good for you, that's fine. Take a breath in here, sit tall. As you breathe out, just give permission to the hips to soften. Here, the hip flexors, maybe feel them gripping. Just send your awareness there and allow them to soften. Inhale. Exhale, hips soften. So you might stay here focusing on the breath, or maybe you'd like to take one more fold. So if you'd like to fold, let's find an inhale. And as you exhale again, belly button sends forwards, gently folding over the legs. Don't worry about how far you're folding, just feeling into sensation in the hips, perhaps the glutes, maybe a little in the back. Inhale. Exhale. And then making your way all the way back up, finding a long spine. Drawing the hands to the outsides of the thighs as you guide the knees together, maybe giving the knees a little bit of a hug, drop the head. And if this is your final practice for today, if you'd like to take a Shavasana, then maybe come into that relaxation now. Otherwise, we'll close with a seated meditation. So finding yourself in a comfortable seated position. Hands can be wherever feels good for you, maybe at the legs, maybe on the body. Maybe you choose to have the hands together at the heart center, making sure that it's your choice. Long through the spine, gentle tuck of the chin in, take a breath in, and a breath out. Returning to your breath. This calm and steady rhythm will carry you throughout the rest of your day. So gently bowing your head in gratitude to yourself for your practice today, for showing up and for being as you are, always